haven't felt like myself in years because of what happened to me. It was a long time ago, and I almost kept it buried. But one day, part of my story got leaked online. Until now, it was just a rumor. I'm from the streets of South Philly, where I'd never be respected again if this came out for real. As much as I would like to remain anonymous, I don't think it's much use, so I'll just go by Cheek Bill. I came up from the hood all the way to the stage and made my first million rapping. It was never enough though. I kept grinding, making more fans and more connections. Then, one day I caught the attention of the one and only P. Diddy. His team reached out, inviting me to one of his house parties. I almost didn't believe it. Getting connected with Diddy would elevate my career to the real deal big time. I was gassed up. I went all out on a pristine white suit since the dress code was all white. I'd heard rumors, but I had no idea what I was walking into. There must have been a dozen big name celebs, but nothing compared to P. Diddy himself. I thought I'd be like an ant, but almost as soon as I walked in, Diddy spotted me through the crowd. He was on a giant sofa with the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen. Even compared to all the other 10 out of 10s, all I could think to do was nod, but he didn't nod back. He didn't move at all. He was wearing those iconic shades too. I didn't want to stare, so I looked away and started getting into the party. It was so unbelievable. Every single person was either famous or gorgeous, and everyone was out of their minds. I wanted to stay cool, so I just had a few drinks. Those few drinks had me more wasted than I could ever remember though. I went around talking to everybody I could, but I can't remember any of them. Only that I kept noticing over their shoulders that Diddy kept finding me in the crowd and staring at me. I started to feel like maybe he was never even looking away. There were a lot of hot women everywhere, but he wouldn't look at any of them, only me. I was creeped out, but at the same time, I knew I had to meet him. I worked my way closer and closer to Diddy's entourage, hoping to eventually get close enough to talk to him. I felt like his entourage was impenetrable, but then all of a sudden, I turned around and he was standing right in front of me with his shades off. I was speechless. Diddy just smiled and put a hand on my shoulder, then leaned in to say something in my ear.
Take that, take that.
What?
Are you enjoying the all-white party?
Yeah.
You look so good in all white. That's not gonna be the only white thing that looks good on you.
Dude, what are you saying to me?
Listen, Mickey Mouse, follow me to the after party. Just want to give you a heads up that the dress code is gonna be a little different.
I didn't bring extra.
Follow me. Close.
I followed Diddy eagerly. I could feel the eyes of everyone around us looking at me. Diddy led me down a hall into a different room. I thought it would be like a dope fitting room with a tailor, but it was just a bedroom. It was only the two of us in there, and Diddy locked us in. I got confused, but Diddy wasn't. He was smiling, so I had to be straight with him.
Yo, Diddy, what the hell are we doing in a bedroom? I thought I was getting changed.
This is the changing room. Come on, don't waste my time, Daddy. You can't get changed without taking off your clothes.
Pause. I don't know about this, man.
Would you just hurry up? I don't have all day, cheek mills.
My heart dropped to my stomach. I felt like I was at the crossroads of my destiny, but like my hand was being pulled in a direction out of my control. It didn't even feel like it was my hands that started taking off my clothes. Diddy watched until I was in my underwear. Then he signaled that those had to go too. I just went along with it. When I was totally bare, Diddy told me to start rapping. I had to close my eyes and think of a rhyme, and when I opened them, Diddy had nothing on too. He just had a bottle of baby oil. That's when I knew it was too late. Diddy's face had gone to pure evil, and he came over to me so fast.
Take that! I love you, baby. You about that life for real. Now you got it.
When I made it home, I made myself a promise. I was never going back to an all-white party ever again. I've never been the same since, but it was all on the inside. Then those videos and audio tapes got leaked, and suddenly everyone knew what happened between me and Diddy. They clowned on me, calling me Cheek Mill. They could have at least said something like Leak Mill. Then maybe they'd understand why I and the others had to speak out. I just wish I knew when to stop before I passed the point of no return. I've been a virgin my whole entire miserable life, I work a dead-end job at a greasy fast food joint. I'm single, never had a girlfriend, and I can't get myself to do anything in my free time but ease the pain the only way I know how. I tried every single dating app there is, from eHarmony to Tinder. Nothing. Never. Not a single girl wants anything to do with me. I've even resorted to hitting on random girls on the street since my female co-workers keep threatening to report me for harassment. I come home from work every day drenched in grease from the grill, and no amount of showering seems to be enough to get it off, so I've basically given up on it. If it weren't for the people like me scattered across the world, I wouldn't have anyone to relate to. The only people that understand me are the other hopeless incels and gooners I sometimes message with over the internet. But even among them, I feel alone. The hub is my best friend. I spend hours there every day, just sitting or lying in front of my computer, going through box after box of tissues and bottle after bottle of baby oil. It's the only lubricant that I can buy in cheap large quantities at my local drugstore, which is just a short walk from my house. The worst thing that can happen with my baby oil is running out of it. One night, I ran out of it and went absolutely ballistic. That's when I got dressed and headed out to a 24/7 store that was just a short walk down the street. When I got there, I grabbed a cart and went over to the aisle where they keep the baby oil. Then I started grabbing every bottle on the shelf as I was trying to buy in bulk, so that I didn't run out again. About halfway through, I noticed I was being watched. I thought I was the only person in the store, but there was someone at the end of the aisle, staring at me from around the corner. He must have followed me in off the street, but he didn't look homeless. In fact, he looked vaguely familiar, like I had seen him from somewhere. He had this creepy-ass look on his face. He was smiling, but I could tell he was angry with me for some reason. I kept looking at him out of the corner of my eye as I reached and grabbed another bottle, but when I did, he twitched like some cracked-out booger sugar psycho. I felt creeped out and didn't know what he wanted, so I just swept the rest of the bottles into my cart and sped off to the checkout counter. The man followed me to it, but he just stood behind me in line. As soon as I paid, I got my bags and fled from the store. I walked as fast as I could with everything I was carrying, but the man kept coming after me. I looked back and he was stalking me, with his head cocked all the way to one side. He scared me so badly that I almost tripped while dropping a bottle of baby oil out of the bag. I abandoned it, not daring to waste time trying to pick it up. A few seconds later, I looked back again, expecting to see the man right behind me, but instead he was picking up the bottle and did what I never would have expected.
Puff Daddy needs his baby oil. Yeah, I can feel it. I feel everything. I need more.
No, I paid for it. It's mine. Just use lotion or castor oil and stay away from me, you freak.
You calling me a freak? Bitch, you don't even know the half of it. But you're about to find out.
Suddenly, he burst out into a full sprint. I turned and ran for my life, taking my bag of baby oil with me. I wasn't going to let him have it if he was just going to drink it all like a maniac. I felt like he was about to get me the whole time, but I just kept running and running. Eventually, I made it home and slammed the door in his face. I locked it and looked out the peephole, just to see his insane face staring back at me. I jumped back and dropped the bag of baby oil by the door. Then I grabbed the phone and dialed 911. But then the man started trying to break the door down. I got as far away from the door as I could, but it was a one-floor bungalow house, so I was basically forced to watch the door getting smashed down.
Hello? Operator? You have to help me. There's a man trying to break into my apartment. I think it's P. Diddy.
You stole my baby oil. Do you know what that means?
No. Operator, please send help now. Hey, what are you doing? Leave that alone.
Come on, it's your turn. The sun don't shine forever, so we might as well shine together.
No, get away from me.
Take that, and take that! I need to share my story. I've been silenced and controlled for too long. I thought I could just move on from the situation, but people need to know that what they've heard rumors of really is as bad as they say it is. It all started 10 years ago. I was a small artist with just a couple minor hits to my name. My looks helped me get more attention than my singing alone, because there's no other way I would have been invited to that party. For legal reasons, and out of fear that this maniac might still hear about this, I can't say his name, but I think you'll know who I'm talking about when I say the man who threw the party in question was the Diddler. Unfortunately, I didn't know anything about him at the time, except that he was rich and famous. So I waltzed my pretty face right up to him and started sweet-talking him. He seemed to vibe instantly, despite not really knowing who I am, but I didn't care. I just wanted to get acquainted with a guy at the top of the music industry. We spent some time together at the party. Then he pulled the trigger and asked me out on a date. In my naive mind, I thought I had just landed the date of all dates, so I got ahead of myself and said yes. My plan was to mess around with him for a bit and leave before things got serious. I didn't want to piggyback off him for my whole career. I just wanted to jumpstart. Things didn't go according to plan though. We started sleeping together for a bit, but I didn't really like him all that much, to be honest. So I tried to jump ship after about a week or so.
And where the hell do you think you're going?
Look, you're cool. I mean, you're awesome, but I'm just looking for something else. I hope you understand.
Bitch, try to understand that I am not a man you walk away from. When I tell you to leave, then you can go. Understand?
No, Diddy, that's crazy. I'm out of here.
You're not leaving. You're not leaving me. It's just gonna be me and you. Me and you. Me and you. Me and you.
That was the moment I knew I had just ruined my life. The risk I took to further my career just trapped me in a forced relationship with a psychopath. He made me pose as a happy girlfriend for the paparazzi. I knew he would try to destroy any hope I ever had of making it in music if I spoke out about what he was doing to me. So I kept quiet. I let him have his depraved house parties, knowing he was sleeping with God knows how many other people, and the entire time I remained his loyal girlfriend. At least, that was the public perception. I was just his rag doll. I didn't see my loved ones for years after that party. I could never go anywhere without his approval, and I never got it. I would just wait inside all day for him to come back from a show or a menage a trois. One day, we were sleeping together, and I made the slightest request to take it easy. The guy went psycho mode and annihilated and handled me so roughly that I thought I was going to die. Afterward, he was finished with me. He threw me aside and went to take a shower. In a panic, I thought this was my only opportunity to escape. I quickly packed what I could and ran from the hotel room. But when the door slammed shut behind me, I knew he had heard it. I started sprinting down the hall and hit the elevator buttons. When the doors didn't immediately open, I knew I was doomed. Sure enough, I heard the hotel room door open just seconds later, and I knew the elevator wouldn't come in time. I looked to my left and saw him sprinting at me wearing nothing but a towel. That's when the psycho charged at me.
Where do you think you're going? You're not getting away from me that easy, bitch! You think you could just leave without 10 more rounds?
Daddy, chill!
The next thing I remember was being dragged away back to the hotel room. I was dazed and incoherent. I started crawling away. The lights were so painfully bright that I found a blanket on the floor and covered myself. As I slowly came to, I could hear his voice mocking me. That instance broke me even further. I never regained the courage to escape. Years passed until one night, when he did a show, he left me with his only security guard with a soul. I believe he knew what was happening to me and offered to escort me back to my family at his own expense. I went with him and finally returned home. I can't thank him enough for what he did. I don't think my ex even tried to find me, but I laid low for a long time. Only when the videos of the elevator incident and the humiliating blanket video were released did I feel confident enough to take legal action. I filed charges, but at the advice of my lawyers, I decided to take a cash settlement. It'll never compare to the damage he did to me, but I would rather just be done with him than deal with him for another day.